Fine, I'll stay in Fourth Kingdom, but I'm going to the brothel, okay? Leave me alone.
This is a sentence because Liz says it's a sentence.
I'm just going to do Slade's voice, and everyone's eyes will glaze over, and no one will notice.
Except this lady.
Except this lady.
Good luck, especially from here on out.
Welcome to the Besties in the Books podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Ashley. And today we are continuing our deep dive series journey, The Plated Prisoner by Raven Kennedy. Woo. And what is it today? It is Glow. Holy smokes, guys. Holy smokes!
So good. Spoiler alert, it's so good.
So, in case you missed it, we're deep diving our series. We have, of course, brought you book 1, which was Guild. Book 2, this is like a test for me. I'll try not to look. Book 2, which was Glint. Book 3, Gleam. And now Glow. I'm getting it. And then the next ones are Gold and Goldfinch.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to rereading those, but I mean, this book even took me out as a reread, and so I'm like, whoa, those last two are really going to get to me, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes, so we're so excited. And in case you missed it, hello, we got to interview the voice of Slade Ravenger, King Rot, all the male characters that come on page. What a treat. So the Sir Anthony Palmini was interviewed on our channel here, so go take a look at that one. If you haven't yet, go take a listen, I should say.
Yeah.
What a treat. What a great time.
I like how you call him Sir Anthony. It makes him sound like he's a knight, which fits.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's dubbed. I will never not. It is Sir Anthony Palmini. He is a knight of voices. Mm-hmm. Yes, here.
A knight of the good voices, indeed.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, okay, so as we said before, Glow was a reread for me, a full reread for me. I will say that, I loved it even more this time, if that's even possible, and I probably will love it even more next time when I read it. And then this was mostly a first-time read for you, right? You had only made it like a few chapters in the first time.
Yeah, like it was literally the first 20% because I remember rereading it now, like I knew where the drop-off was. Like, okay, yeah. And now I'm in new territory now. Officially, I'm coming in to the new place.
Oof. To the new place, to the new places. Yeah. Well, this book, Glow, in my opinion, as someone who's read the whole series, is definitely where the series takes a turn to set us up for the epic conclusion. The thing that is interesting about that is that, if you guys have been following Raven Kennedy for a while, you know that Gold was supposed to be the final book. And then she was like, actually, no, I have more of a story to tell. It's now going to be Gold and Goldfinch. And so we had to wait for those two books to come out. And I did total it out. So between the two books, it's 1,380 pages for the two books that are left after this one. And so even though this is where we take the turning point to set us up for, this epic ending, it's actually a lot of story left. So it's an interesting thing because I feel like the tone does shift significantly in this book for the rest of the series, but we still have a long way to go. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So before we get into discussing this book, which I think you can probably already tell me and Ashley are obsessed with, we just wanted to say thank you so much for being here.
Seriously, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and your book to come hang out with us and hear all about this deep dive for Glow. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you like to listen to favorite podcasts, including YouTube. And we're also on Instagram and TikTok. Besties in the Books podcast everywhere. And if you want to jump on a fable and chat along in a spoiler-free way, chapter by chapter, it's a little place that you can do virtual buddy reads over there. Fable, Besties in the Book Club, search it there. That's where we'll be. And if you haven't read this book yet and you're just hanging out, we're going to give you a spoiler warning. First 15 minutes, spoiler free. We hang out, we chat, Fav and Fail style, and we'll give you a warning. We'll give you a spoiler free book review, and then we'll warn you when it's time to skedaddle.
Yeah. So, all right, let's just start off with our Fav and Fail of the week.
All right, let's do it. Okay.
What have you been up to this week? What's going on?
Well, my favorite of the week, well, it was my birthday on January 27th. So, here.
Yay.
Fun time where I didn't want to do nothing except the things I wanted to do. So it was great. Yep. Made a plan this year. I was like, hey, I had a very successful year last year that I enjoyed doing nothing except what I want to do, and I'm going to do it again. So what did I do? Woke up, had some cold brew, and a special I don't like donuts, but there's this place called Parlor Donuts near me, and they're the only donuts that I like. Coconut cream filled.
Ooh, yeah.
Excellent. Oh, it's so good. And then we came back. We watched a movie. Finally watched Sinners. So there we go. Definitely, it was, while, it has vampires in it. I was worried that I'd be like super gory, grossed out, terrible. It was, but it was not. Like, it was fine. I was fine.
Yeah.
Marked safe. So
Marked
it wasn't
safe from Sinners. I'm not marked safe from Michael B. Jordan being a twin.
That was really, dude, phenomenal acting all around. That was so trippy.
The acting. It was the whole reason why.
I mean, it was, though. It's one of those, though, that's like so good. It's like, okay, it's not the same, but it's like watching Parent Trap now, like knowing that it's the same person. Yeah. It takes me out, but in like a good way, but like it's like, whoa, I can't believe the filming that has to go in.
It's crazy.
To have them side by side. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what it takes for like the actor to be different, to be that different. Like, that's so fascinating. Yeah.
Oh, man. Excellent, man.
Yeah.
Dude, great movie. My fail, okay, I don't want to go on Depression City here, but we got a lot of effed up stuff happening, So doom scrolling would be a bit of a fail, because it comes to a point where, okay, this is no longer healthy and I need to get off my phone.
Well, okay, let's just pose the question to the people in a lighthearted way. Okay?
Try our best.
Where is the line in good old 2026 between informing yourself of the world's happenings and doom scrolling? Where does one end and the other one begin? I don't know that it's even really possible to know that anymore. So in your defense, it is very hard.
I mean, and hello, like, generations have been doing it it just wasn't called doom scrolling. It was watching the news 24/7. It was reading every single newspaper constantly, so just different thing. It's just at our hands. It's right there. We're getting pop-ups on our notifications. And then what do? You go, okay, what's happening now? Oh, crap. And then there you go. So I had to like stop myself on certain days and be like, okay, that's enough for today. I gotta move on. So it's a fail in the way that, like, I mean, it's our country that's failing us. Hey, but, It's making me like feel unprepared for like your visit you're coming down for. I mean, at the time of filming this, it's already done. What's done is done. But we have a lot going on. In case you missed the announcement, we're going to Romantasy Con. We're super excited for that. So we have some stuff we got to prepare for with that. We got to edit videos. We got to like do stuff while the world is burning. So it's hard. It's hard to find that balance. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, of like being informed, like you said, trying your best to like do what you can, and also live a life and make dinner and do the laundry and not fall into the pit of despair, because that's what they want and we're not going to do that, right?
Well, yeah, but then it's also hard. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to like, hopefully it helps you guys feel a little bit more seen in what you're going through right now, because I feel like a lot of us are on the same page. It's like I was trying to explain to my husband, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. It just feels really dystopian. It's like, as a small business owner, it's like I have to go to work and be happy to be there and pretend everything's great, and basically like, hey, let's do facials and eyebrows all day long and create this really like, relaxing, quote unquote, safe space for people to come and, feel good about themselves, when it's completely insane. Like, the outside world is just completely insane. And that feels really like, it feels fake, but there's like kind of no way around it, really. Because I'm not going to like, every time a client comes in, I'm not going to be like, oh, so you're feeling like shit, right? Because we're all feeling like shit. So let me do a facial on you now and pretend like it's like a fun time. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not how we can exist. I mean, I certainly have clients who would rather sit here and vent about what's really going on than pretend like it's not happening. But I also have a lot of clients who want to use it as an escape. It feels very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So-
yeah, and then as a mother, same thing. Like you finding out information. Meanwhile, they're like, "I want like a peanut butter and jelly." I'm like, okay. That's gonna come with a side of tears. No, you have to like snap out of it in a way. It's a lot. It's a lot. So if you're feeling this, you guys, we're right there with you. It's a dystopian feeling, like you said.
Yeah.
Whiplash in a way.
But we just have to do the little things we can do to resist and give ourselves joy. And that's why we're still here talking about things like the Plated Prisoner series, which actually do have a lot of parallel themes to the real world. So,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
So,
All right. What about you? What's your fave or fail?
Okay, well,
if we
we'll
want to
start
end on a
with-
high note.
yeah, we'll end on a high note. I'll start with my fail.
Yeah.
I picked a lighthearted fail because, you know, the fails are aplenty right now. So we're just going to pick something easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll send Ashley a picture to insert.
You guys love that.
Yeah, I have another finger problem. Apparently
no.
this is just a thing. I literally needed to, you know how you have the electric toothbrush that, you have to switch out the head on the electric toothbrush. I literally pinched my finger skin while putting that on in between the toothbrush and the new thing. And I literally have like this crazy blood blister on my pinky from that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And like at the time, it may have been a quote unquote after dark moment. So I wasn't like fully aware of how bad the situation was. And my sister was over and I was like, I just pinched the absolute crap out of my pinky with my toothbrush. And we were like cracking up about it. But anyway, so that's my fail of the week, lighthearted edition, because it was pretty funny and, not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
My fave of the week is that, if you guys hadn't heard, we up in Arcata, California, where I live in Humboldt, had a pretty devastating fire happen kind of over the Christmas time holiday. And 2 of our local bookstores burned down, which was horrific. And in a really great act of, community coming together, a lot of the other local businesses in Arcata were, donating part of their proceeds or doing fundraisers this last weekend for fire relief efforts. So really, really cool. So my sister and I and Rescinda, we went out and did like a local shopping day. We went to like Mia Bella Cupcakes, which we've gone to before to get cupcakes from locally.
Good. They made it. I was worried about that and I forgot to ask you.
They were the next block up. So they did.
Yeah.
They had like a special fire relief cupcake. They were donating like 10% of like all proceeds to it, which was cool.
Yeah.
We went to Wildflower Cafe, which is my favorite like vegan vegetarian place. And then we hit up like all the like little boutiques around the plaza and got a lot of really cute little like trinkets and, I got some cute clothes and stuff. So that was definitely my fave of the week, with the highlight being we went to the Minor Theater, which if you guys don't know this, I don't know if it's still true, but I'm pretty sure it is the oldest still running theater in the United States.
So cool.
Movie theater. Yeah. And so we went there and we saw Send Help with Rachel McAdams. And the way I'm telling you guys this right now, okay, first of all, if you like the Plated Prisoner series and you like a good femme rage story, go watch this movie, okay?
And Rachel McAdams, too. A dark side to her, huh? Dude.
Literally, the way I came out of the theater and I told my sister, that is the best movie that I have seen in ages that wasn't obviously something I've rewatched,
Yeah.
Best new movie I've seen in a long time, like aside from like Wicked. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm obsessed. I'm going to go see it again. I'm going to see if my husband wants to go see it with me again. You'll love it. It is definitely a bit gory. I will say though, less gory than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So that's good. And I feel like it's very like the kitschy, intentionally funny gore.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so good, because the writing was just top tier. The acting was top tier. The social commentary was amazing. So yeah, go watch it.
Yeah.
Infinity Stars. Go watch it.
Yes.
Definitely.
Do your homework. Go watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yep. Let's do it. So that was my fave of the week for sure.
Sweet. Good.
Okay.
Good.
So, here. Femme rage all around. We can't get enough of it right now because it helps us feel seen in these trying times rather than being gaslit into thinking we're overreacting.
Yeah.
So that is why it's important.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much.
So that being said, what's your spoiler-free review of Glow, Book 4 in the Plate of Prisoner series?
Dude, 5 stars. 5 stars. It's kind of like the what happens after that big feminine rage show of power moment that we saw in the ending of book 3. And we get to see so many different point of views right now, people's backstories. So this is like that another middle book that's setting us up for more. It's like this feels like we're just beginning right now, even though we're not. So I'm loving it. Cliffhangers. Get ready for a cliffhanger, guys. Straight up.
A big one. I know. We had to take a break for book club book, and I told Ashley, I said, I'm sorry, but we have to. We have to. I know.
So hard. Been so tempted. Hard. It's been like 4 days, and I'm like,
I know. I'm going to start Gold tonight, so I'm excited.
Yes.
I feel like, and we'll talk about this more in the spoiler section, but I feel like, for quote unquote middle books, you can't do middle books better than a book like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like because you hit a huge crescendo right at the end of book 3, and then you expect a lull, and it's not. It's like everything that's in here is perfect, and it's in there on purpose and intentionally, and I just never felt like it slowed down, which was great. So 5 stars for me, infinity stars. I love this book so much.
Yeah. I will say, I was just reading reviews before doing this, preparing for this episode, and a lot of people do struggle with the first, I want to say 30% of this book. Somebody even said 300 pages because they feel like it slowed down so much, and it's like, but no, it's all intentional. If you're struggling right now, if you're listening to this and you're like, keep going. Like, don't give up. Don't stop now. Trust us. And you need these backstories, and you need to know these things.
Well, it's also like, just to give a little bit before we get into more details about it, the way that I read this book is just because you've had a breakthrough, we'll say, without giving any type of spoilers. Just because you've had a breakthrough, or this character has a breakthrough in their reality that forces them to, kind of seek power within themselves to move forward in a different way, doesn't mean that internal struggle or that guilt or, that cognitive dissonance for relearning their whole reality is now magically solved.
Yeah.
And so I think that the beginning of this book is that mental emotional journey that is necessary to then move us forward in a way that makes sense. Otherwise it would feel weird. Like, oh, everything's great and fine, and then we can just move forward and it's good. Like, that wouldn't feel real to me.
Right.
Like, realistic, Yeah. So I agree. Yeah, it's so necessary, and you need to look at it as the internal work needs to happen just as well as the external work for us to have a character that's relatable in the way that I think that most of the characters in this series are.
Yeah, or else it'd feel disjointed and weird, you know? I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, same.
So
okay, I do have a question, though. So I rated this a 3 spice. I feel like it almost could have been a 4, almost, if there would have been a little bit more frequency. But I stuck with a 3 because I feel like the spicy scenes were all very, like, everyone in this book, I felt like, was a plot mover in a really big way.
Yeah.
Like, and so in that way also, we've been dealing with kind of non-consensual things in the past and stuff like that. I feel like this book was all entirely consensual with spice. Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, so 3 spice, does that sound okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so.
So we'll settle on the 3 spice and 5 stars all around.
Yes. Here, here.
So should we get into the spoiler section?
Let's go. Spoilers coming. Save it to your playlist. Watch it later if you don't want to be spoiled.
Here we go, guys. All right. Well, this 5-sentence summary is the best I could do.
Good luck, especially from here on out.
Okay, yeah, because if you have to know anything about this series, it's that we have not only several different POVs happening at this point, we also have several different timelines happening at this point, too. So I'm like, oh, I have to do a 5-sentence summary where we have flashbacks, and then we have, like, this person over here, and this person over here, and this person over here. So I did the best I could. It's crazy. It's definitely more than 5 sentences, but we've got some run-ons in there. So we're keeping our story to 5 sentences, okay? Even though that's not what it is. So we're just going to be in denial and proceed. Here we go. All right. You ready? I'm ready.
Ready.
Okay. 5-sentence summary of Glow by Raven Kennedy. In 2 significant flashbacks, Slade, at the age of 8 years old, manifests his fae power and begins training relentlessly with his terrible, abusive father, Stanton, a.k.a. the Breaker, one of the strongest fae in existence who helped the king destroy the bridge to Lemuria, in order to one day rescue his mom, Allure, an Orion that has diviner powers that essentially allows her to see prophecies about people and his little brother Riot from his evil father's clutches. Then, when Slade is 15, Stanton finds out that Allure has been having an affair with one of the servants, Jack, and Riot is actually his son, so Stanton kills Jack and Slade fights him, resulting in a power collide so strong that it opens a rip in the world that transports many of them to Auria in what Slade made into Drawlord Village.
1.
Good old Stanton.
I was so hoping that's what was in Drawlord's Village, some kind of, like, portal. That's essentially what it is. Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. Wish me luck on this. Okay. In her incapacitated state, Slade flies Arin to Deadwell, a secret village in the snowy mountains built into cliff sides at the edge of Fifth Kingdom, where he meets Riot, Lou, and Digby, and later Judd and Hojat. Osric is over in Fourth with the army having a thing with Rissa, who kissed him despite her better judgment. That's in parentheses. In order to address the fact that she won't wake up, when gold begins uncontrollably leaking out of her, Slade takes her to a remote cave where she does wake up, they fight, have sex, and then she remembers what she did and pleads to be punished, but Slade refuses, saying she deserves pleasure. So she shoves down all of her feelings, deciding to process them later, until Hojat insists on cleaning her wounds, and Arin has to face the trauma. Slade tells her he had to rot her, and some of the rot won't leave her, but she isn't upset and immediately begins training with Slade and Judd in order to control her gold and become strong without her ribbons. Arin tells the story of her escaping from Zakir on a ship just to become a wandering homeless girl until she stumbled upon a town called Karnith and an old woman named Millie, who took her in like her own, until one night when a man broke in and Arin's power manifested, killing him. But when Millie realized it was her brother, it was too late, and Arin's power had become uncontrollable, killing everyone. The next day is when Tyndall found her as part of his master plan, her thinking he was her just chance savior.
I'm all... Two?
I'm telling you.
I'm laughing because it's like, this is a sentence because Liz says it's a sentence. It's just no periods involved.
No, I literally
be gone, okay?
just wrote an entire paragraph and just connected it with like dashes and semicolons and just called it a day.
Yeah. Hey.
Because it's all important, guys.
It is.
Okay. All right. They do get... That was the longest one. Okay. All right. Slade and Riot capture and kill the last of Midas's spies, but gain no added intel, while Lou is in 6th spying and Judd is in 1st trying to negotiate a trade deal. Later, he receives a letter from Queen Kyla and all the other royals demanding Arin stand trial at a royal complex for stealing Midas's power and killing him. And now, since they're harboring her... Wait. And now the other kingdoms are sabotaging Forth by not honoring their trade agreement since they're harboring her. So Aran digs deep within herself in order to summon and control and ultimately master her power. And we find out that in order to keep the people of Drollard alive, including his mother, who she meets, Slade has to feed the Rip with raw magic and can only leave it for 8 weeks at a time. So they leave to Fourth Kingdom and Brackhill Castle to meet Manu, who attempts to convince Slade to give Oren up to the Conflux, but before he can give his final answer, Manu and his henchmen kidnap her and stab Rissa, leaving her for dead, not wanting any witnesses.
3? Yeah.
Aran is taken to Walmont Castle in Second Kingdom for the Conflux, where she is subdued and tortured by the religious cult leader of the Gathering of Temperance and the Queen of Second Kingdom, Isolt Merowyn, then taken to stand trial in a cage that strips her of her magic, literally making it pool out of her with streaks of what looks like rot woven into it. Kylo uses her magic to replay what happened the night of Midas's death, but manipulates it in her favor, and Aran is found guilty, and her sentence is execution. Meanwhile, Slade and Argo travel for days trying to reach her until Argo is shot down in the desert. So Slade gets there with the help of Riot and his Timberwing. Slade rots everyone, aside from the royals who are protected by the Prince of Second Kingdom's shield magic, and uses his raw power to create a new rip to Anwin, which Aran jumps through before it closes, and Slade and Riot immediately leave to Deadwell so Slade can go through the other rip to find her, but it is closed and everywhere is gone. Or everyone is gone.
4.
I know. Meanwhile, Melina has been traveling with Pruin to Seventh Kingdom per the map that is magic produced from her greatest desire. When they finally get to the ruined Koval Castle amidst a frozen tundra on the edge of the world, she loses all hope until they step inside the ruins and meet Friano and Fassa, the twins who reveal the castle in its true form, glorious but cloaked to look deserted. They've been waiting for the rightful heir of Oria to help Seventh Kingdom be restored to its previous glory, and they have magic to help Melina manifest hers and assume the throne. So she makes a deal in blood for it right before the assassin finds her and warns her to leave this place, and she realizes the twins used her blood to restore the bridge to Lemuria so the Fae can destroy humans once and for all.
5. Dun, dun, dun.
It was crazy. That was a lot. Hopefully that helps if you guys need a summary, because I think I managed to keep all the major points in there, hopefully.
Yeah. Wow. Holy smokes, Batman.
Holy smokes. I know. Literally, though. That's why I'm like, I don't know. I feel like a lot happened in this book. I don't know how you could be bored by it, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that maybe the whiplash of the pacing coming off of book 3 and then the book 4, you know, but
maybe
that's that again. It wouldn't make any sense to not. You're not curious about what's happened to Slade, how he got there. He's Fae too. Yeah, you're not curious of Oren's previous story, you know, like
or what's going on with Melina up there in the freaking frozen tundra, or what's going on with Osric and you know, like Lissa. Yeah, like
you're not curious about any of this stuff.
Come on, like we have to know. Yeah. You know, honestly, though, it's like, I know we compare this to Throne of Glass a lot, but it's very similar in the way that there's so many POVs. There are a lot of people who just aren't interested in all the POVs in Throne of Glass either. And it shocks me because that's not how my brain works. Like, the more characters, it's like the more the merrier for me. I'm like, more characters, more story. Great. I need to know what's happening. Yeah. That's how this feels to me.
Yeah. Love it.
Okay. Well, there's the long-winded 5-sentence summary in air quotes. Do with that what you will.
Yeah. All right. Well, Liz, let's get into some tropes, some trope action. What were 3 tropes that you loved in Glow in particular?
Burn the world for each other.
Ooh.
It's a twist. It's a twist.
Yes.
Normally it's burn the world for her, right? Well... Yeah. We've got 2
she can too.
formidable forces here meeting together. So loved that. We're going to stick with Found Family because it's just growing and we're getting to know these people better. And I love every one of them so much. especially can't wait to see where all this goes with Osric and Rissa. I love them. Yeah, I can't wait to see where things go with Osric and Rissa. I love them so much. So yeah, and then Riot. I feel like we are getting to know Riot's character better because of the flashbacks that we're seeing to his and Slade's childhood, which is also really important to developing his character as well, because he's a little tough to figure out, I think.
Yeah.
And then I put trauma healing because that's what we're doing. It's like, Slade he's there as a very strong anchor for Arin, but he's not doing the work for her. She has to do that for herself.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that about this book too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's kind of the main point.
Yeah, because I also put healing and acceptance, being a big part of that is like not letting your past weigh you down, but choosing to use it to empower you and do good and everything. And then, of course, found family. Officially for me, I think this is the first time I'm mentioning found family because it is solidified. I think we're all, not all of us, but some of us are kind of skeptical of everybody because everybody sucks most of the time in the first 3 books. So it's like, well, let's make sure, make sure everybody's cool. And so obviously, officially, everybody's cool. Not everybody, but her found family is. And we love them. We love them.
So much.
Yeah. It's like burn the world for all of you. It's like, protect the people that you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also threw in there, trying to think of like outside the box differently of the other books, Fae Tricksters. I know you don't always love that, but I kind of enjoyed that twist with Melina.
You're talking about the twins up in
the twins.
See, it irks me every time. I don't know why. I'm like, ugh. Like, I remember the first time I read it, I was like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep. I know it's a bit of a trigger for you.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I like it because to me, it's not too much of it. And in this case, it's just enough to be like a nod to fairy tales, So, and I'm curious to see where that goes now. And we all knew she was a dummy and gonna fall for it. So, hey.
Yeah. Melina has a very interesting character arc. I'm excited to talk about it and have you discover it.
Yeah. What was your comment in Fable about that situation? Oh, it was like, if your assassin is trying to tell you, hey, man, don't fall for them.
That's not a good sign.
And not kill you. Like, yeah, it might be bad news bears. Yeah.
Yeah. And we want to learn more about that guy, too. Like, what's his deal?
I've always been curious.
We don't know a whole lot.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't even have to. Freaking Midas is dead. You don't need to work for nobody anymore. So. Well,
and I think maybe with him warning her about that, he's figuring that out. Like, oh, I'm kind of a, free agent at this point or whatever,
Yeah. And we don't know. I'm spitballing. I don't know because I haven't read anything past this. If Midas was holding something over him to have him work for him. I don't know. I'm hopeful with his character. We'll see. Yeah. Sometimes I never see these characters again and I'm bummed. So we'll see.
Well, I'll give you a hint. You will see a lot more of him.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's not going to just disappear. Yeah.
I'm excited. Okay.
What about a microtrope, good or bad?
Microtrope. I don't know a word for this. So how about anti-petty drama? Like literally the opposite? Because, case in point, there was so much opportunity for the author to drag us through that whole will they, won't they, forgiveness trope, like fake plot device of tension and disagreements with, for instance, the fact that he rotted her and he was all worried that she'd be upset at him. And she's like, no, I get it, boo. I
would have literally died, but thank you.
Like, it's okay. Calm down. Because, like, that was kind of annoying me. Like, rot. Like, you had to do what you had to do. You didn't know some of it would get stuck there, Yeah. And so she also was like that. But I feel we've read a lot of books where it's like a whole thing. And then they have to go through forgiveness. And I can't believe you rotted me. And, like, we didn't have to get that. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, we didn't get the miscommunication. We didn't get a third act breakup. We had, like, that would just be, like, they're communicating properly.
Yeah, even Rissa and Aurin,
Yeah.
Like, hey,
totally.
Like, no, like it worked out. So, hey,
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I put as my microtrope, I put animal besties because, I'm definitely getting a lot more attached at this point to Argo. Yeah, so glad
they
that
got
he didn't die in the desert.
Okay, yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Because Riot thought something was wrong, flew out there, found him. He, let Slade take his Timberwing out to, Second Kingdom to find Arin, and then got Argo on a ship back to Fourth Kingdom. So he will live to see another day. But yes, it's the animal besties, especially when they're really cool, different creatures. That's a fun time. I love that.
And she fed him the cookie. Oh, so cute.
I know. She's like, don't eat my hand off, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so cute. I love that he's like this like super, like formidable creature. And they're like, well, we kind of like feed him cookies every day though. She's like, really? Like, it's just so cute. So adorable.
So adorable.
So what about a trope you hated?
Ooh. Not because I wouldn't have it any other way, but I just, propaganda. Multiple coming at you. And I'm screaming every time. Oh.
Just how well it works,
Yeah, how well it works amongst the people, population.
This was kind of like tangentially related to propaganda. I said politicians vying for power at the expense of their people / government corruption. So basically, you have these people sitting around a table in a room of, 7 of them, determining whether or not, I don't know, for example, they're going to go to war and cause these kingdoms, people to all kill each other or not.
On their behalf. Might I add. Not feed an entire kingdom and cut off trade agreements. Interesting.
Who does that hurt?
Bartering over oil supplies.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
I would say, and I get it. I get what Slade is doing because he's not born yesterday. He's been around the block. He knows what they're going to do to Arin. Okay. So this is why he's withholding sending her to this complex, because he's like, you all are crazy. Okay. This is not going down that way. So I get it. But then at the same time, it's like by him not sending her, I get why Riot's mad. Right? Because he's like, you are willing to starve your people potentially to save this one individual. And that's not right. And so I kind of can see both sides of that argument. And it makes it, it doesn't make me dislike Slade, but it does make me it made me see him a little bit differently also, because he's someone who, yes, cares a lot about his people in his kingdom. But at the end of the day, he cares about Arin more. He is still a selfish person. And I think that's important to notice. And it makes his character more interesting. He's not like one-dimensional. Yeah.
And even I was irritated at Slade kind of distracting her and trying to take away her choice, even though he does know better because he knows what's going to happen. Still, I struggled with him taking away that choice from her when she wouldn't want that either, in the way Riot put it. Like, she would rather sacrifice herself for the people if it keeps people fed. But on the flip side, you could see both sides, because Slade's like, well, it won't stop there. You take this person, they're going to take another, they're going to take another. It never ends. The cycle never ends. So it's very muddy and messy, and it's not black and white. And that's life.
Yeah, it's life. And it's also like, it just shows the level of kind of like political scheming. Like, he has to always be like 10 steps ahead, because I think at the end of the day, right, it's like Slade's main concern is the health and safety of as many people in his kingdom as possible. But he also has to play the game. Like, you're not absolved of playing the game, because as soon as he decides not to, then we're going to see what happens in the next 2 books, right? It's like, they're not going to take it well. We'll put it that way.
And it's sad because also these kingdoms aren't even putting a stop to this because their resources are being depleted. It's because they're worried and they're scared that she might be able to take their power from them and their cushy little lives. So it's not even about the people that they govern.
No, and that just goes to show you, too, that even though Midas was a tyrant who was literally horrible to everyone and was starving everyone in his kingdom, the other rulers were happy to keep him in place because he was maintaining the status quo. That was the bottom line. They were allowed to comfortably keep their power, keep things at bay, because he was feeding into the same systems that allow all of the rulers to stay where they are. And Slade is willing to disrupt that in order to hopefully make everyone's life better, but they are so terrified of losing any nugget of their power that they're going to fight against that forever.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. These are important things to think about moving into the next two books. So what about 3 themes? Do you have any other themes that we didn't already talk about that you wanted to call out?
Yeah. Female empowerment.
Yeah.
Not only with Auren, which is obvious, but Rissa as well, taking her voice back and making her choices that she wants to make. And then what is her friend's name? Polly?
Yeah.
Even Polly and her female empowerment saying, hey, you didn't want to be in sex work anymore, and that's okay, but I do, and you took that away from me. Even though it was, even though she was being drugged and, her friend thought she was in her best interest, but her speaking up for herself and saying, this is what I do want to do, because I do enjoy it, and that's okay too.
Fine, I'll stay in Fourth Kingdom, but I'm going to the brothel, okay? Leave me alone.
Hey, girl likes what she likes.
Yeah. Let her be. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep, that's one of them. Personal empowerment, just generally speaking, also because we see it with Riot and speaking up for himself and what he wants. Listen, he's bothering me a little bit. He's a little annoying to me. I'm so sorry. I'll eat my words maybe in the future books.
No, I think he's supposed to be. Because he's constantly, because he has trauma, first of all, which they're showing from the flashbacks of their childhood. He's got significant trauma. And then he's been, because of that, living in Slade's literal shadow,
right?
As his alter ego his entire life. And so by making him the official army commander and kind of getting rid of this, fake alter ego, I think that, that's going to help him a lot. But I think that that's important because he's one of the only ones who understands Slade on that really deep level that no one else really can, and he isn't afraid of him either. I think that's really important, so I think we're supposed to disagree with some of the things that he's doing, but otherwise there wouldn't be as much conflict and pushback with Slade's character, which he needs.
And if he didn't give him this opportunity to lead, that's a trauma. That's a villain origin story if I've ever seen one.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah. And then I have a few other things, but I'll let you list some so we don't have any overlap.
Okay, so the flip side, or I guess not even really, but I guess the partner theme to female empowerment would be misogyny and patriarchy are actually bad for everyone.
Yeah, hey, how about that?
Yeah, so I highlighted a couple quotes here from Slade, from little baby Slade when he's 8. I'm supposed to always be something called stoic. I think it means not to feel.
Aww.
So sad. Okay. And then another one, he's sad because he's not living up to, what Stanton wants him to be when he's little baby angel of 8 years old. And he says that he's weak. And his mom says, you are not weak, she says firmly. When I start to argue, she goes on, you don't have to be cruel to be strong. You don't have to be mean to seem brave. You don't have to look down on others in order to stand tall. Having emotions does not mean you're weak. It means you're smart enough to let yourself feel. And so those were such important messages, I felt like, because like I said, it's the theme of patriarchy doesn't just hurt women, it hurts everyone. And, I really like the juxtaposition of Midas having an extremely abusive father taking one path and Slade also having an extremely abusive father and taking the opposite path. I think that that's important to note too.
Yeah, definitely.
Another one I put was religion informing policy, specifically political policies. Because we're dealing with the Second Kingdom's essentially religious cult situation. Okay. And the quote I pulled from there was, "They preach to me about their gods, the ones who reward purity of the flesh and obedience of the mind, the ones who demand self-restraint and sacrifice. They say nothing of the goddesses of matronly love or female fortitude." So it's like, okay, fine. All right. If we're going to be dealing with, religion here, and it's going to be informing policy, then where are all of these other ideas that are essentially omitted from that equation? So I thought that was a really interesting point out as well. And let's see here. What else did I put? Oh, I put propaganda, but we've already talked about that a lot. So I'll name this one here. Women in power not actually really having power. And this ties into what I just mentioned about religion informing policy. So like the Queen of Second Kingdom, Isolde, does not really have any power at the end of the day, even though she is powerful and she's the one who is keeping Arryn prisoner and torturing her, etc. And Arryn calls her out. She says, "But you don't really lead it, do you?" I asked, notching my chin up towards the mural. "Women can't be priests, isn't that right?" I asked, going out on a limb. Her jaw clenches and I get a little thrill at pissing her off. I don't care that she's queen. I don't care that she has the magic to pinch my body to death. She's a cruel fanatic who thrives on lording over others and calling her acts of cruelty holy. And then at the end of the day, she is also oppressed within this system that she cannot even rise to the level of ruling in. And you see it when the king of second, her husband, basically shuts her up. Because he does, like, when this whole thing is going down. He's like, "Quiet, woman," or whatever, you know? Yeah. So, it's that classic scene in The Handmaid's Tale where it's Serena who thinks it's her brainchild, and she goes to sit in that boardroom, and they close the doors in her face. It's like that same concept. And I felt like Raven Kennedy really showed that well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. To build off of that, also specifically the use of the occult to control specifically women's bodies. Scrub them pure, they are unclean for whatever reason they choose to be.
Yeah.
That was very brutal reading about, for sure. I also put a fun one. Sexual exploration.
Ooh.
Sexual healing. So, I think we all love Slade for that. That was a great, beautiful moment. Very opposite of Midas. Just like, hey, listen, boo. I loved that. Because it's true. Like, she has that panic moment where it's like, great, I just went from one king to another. Like, am I sure I want this choice? Because I already thought about that before she said it. I'm like, ooh. It's like one captor to another, even if he's not a captor. She's like, have I explored everywhere? Have I felt the sun on my skin? Am I sure I want to be with him? What if there's somebody else that would be a better fit? And he's like, I get it. Like, you need to do your thing. I'm going to be along there with you.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we both know if this judge of character that we're seeing right now, if she did decide she wanted to be with somebody else, he would be upset, but he would let her go. Yeah. I think that's huge.
Yeah. I mean, just, we talked with this briefly with Book Club After Dark on our interview that we did with them, where they specifically called out the carriage scene in this book.
Yes,
and that's exactly what they're talking about. Yeah, I mean, it's an extremely well-written, spicy scene. You guys will love it. But the underlying, I guess, or overlying theme there is she's basically exactly what you're saying. She's like, what are you going to do if I decide that I want to go travel the world and not just live in Fourth Kingdom? What are you going to do if I decide, like, I want to sleep with someone else because I don't want to just be in this one relationship forever until I die? Like, and he's basically like, my job is not to confine you. It's to give you the freedom to do what you need to do to become who you are. And what just an enlightened perspective. And it's like you said, like, will he like it if she goes to be with someone else? No, but he knows at the end of the day that caging her is not going to fix any of the problems or help their cause at all, Yeah, it was a great moment. I agree.
Yeah. Definitely.
Slade says all the right things. He really does, though. Like, he really does.
Yeah.
All right. What was your favorite part if you had to pick one?
Just generally Auron's growth, coming into her power. I loved learning about the rip between worlds. It's tragic, it's horrible, but it's interesting. So I love this layer that we got on top of everything that we already have going on. So I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm excited. They don't seem like good Fae, but I'm here for it. So
Well, because it
bring it on.
It brings the question up, right? Of well, she's in Anwin now, right? We're assuming that's what happened. She goes through the rip to Anwin. Well, isn't that where Slade's dad probably is still?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Nervous.
things are going to get interesting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put my favorite part was Slade showing Auron what she deserves and who she is. Like I said, it's like he's there. He's there. He's like this it's like the difference between being this like formidable, strong, I don't even know how to, like, he's like the gravity, but he's not overtaking her. You know what I mean? It's like he's allowing her to be grounded and to feel safe in a space so that she can grow into who she needs to. It's like without constraints or fear, you know? And I just, like the symbolism there is great. It's my favorite part.
He doesn't treat her like a possession.
No.
So,
No.
love that.
I think I wrote a quote down. Yeah, I did. I'll just say this one right now. Slade uses a hand to turn my cheek to lock our gazes together. When I say you're mine, it's not cheap ownership. I don't see you as a figure to lock to my arm like a toy to keep away from all others. That was the only mine I knew. So what are you saying exactly? I ask with a faltered breath. I mean you're mine to please, to pleasure. The motive in his eyes matches with the drag of his hand, the curl of his palm as he presses against my throbbing clit and makes me see sparks of light behind my eyes. You're mine to protect, to adore, to hear, to see, to experience, and to love. Like, I know. This is what we mean when it's like, yeah, it's spicy, but it's like these moments are there intentionally to build those characters in a way that's really important. Yeah. And so it's like, I mean, I like no notes. How do you write stuff like that? How do you write stuff like that?
Yeah. I was thinking about that when I was going through all my quotes. I was like, dude, Raven, you are just a poet if I ever did see. Golly. What a beautiful, beautiful words.
Yeah.
She weaves.
For real, though. For real.
Well, to take a turn, what was your least favorite part?
Well, see, this is the thing. Is like all the tragedy, right? So, did I love reading about Slade's fucking awful sorry? It makes me so like angry. Yeah. His horrible father and everything that he did to his mother and him and, you know, his poor little brother. No, that was terrible to read about, but it was so necessary. So I didn't love that. Auron's past trauma with Karnith, right? That was super sad too. Yeah, that was terrible. And then, of course, Midas freaking swooping in as the piece of crap that he is and taking advantage of that situation. Like, that's how you know someone's a, like, narcissistic sociopath, when they can come in and they can literally, like, take advantage of someone in that situation.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like, and weave it to their advantage. Ah.
Yeah.
And sleep soundly at night. Oh.
Literally. Just like, yeah, that's crazy. You're literally out of control. Crazy.
Wow.
And then I put Slade letting Auron go at the end. That had me completely, like, upset. Like, big time tears for that one again. So while these were my least favorite parts of the story, I also appreciated them 1,000% for being in there, because there's every single one of those things was so important to creating the depth that is required here.
Exactly.
So what about you?
Yeah, all of the above. So I obviously same, ditto, but a special, wait, no, that's for characters. Hang on. Let me rephrase everything I just said. Okay. Yes. Agreed. Ditto. Also Auron almost dying again, like, you know, being bled out.
Literally.
Being scrubbed almost to death. That was pretty enraging.
Almost drowning in her own gold. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like literally
Crazy.
all crazy. Yeah.
Having to hear that her first appearance of her power turns her only friend and companion. And if she had known and if she was trained, she would have been able to pull her power back and save her just as just as Slade does with his rot. I'm assuming she'll be able to do that because that's literally how Slade's power works.
Yeah.
She can push out and pull back, you know?
Yeah. They don't show her doing that on another person in this book, but they do show her just doing it in general.
Right. Yeah. So I'm assuming like, you know, if you have the proper training, power, everything, I mean, it was the first appearance of her gold. She wouldn't know that. But if she had been around her kind, she might know that that was a possibility, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just tragic, you know, horrible death. And then, of course, how Midas then manipulated her with that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Opportunistic piece of crap person.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Who is your favorite character in this one?
Other than Auron, because of course, I love what we're seeing with Osric and Rissa.
Yeah.
Love it. I love that they haven't done it yet. And they're just, you know, and it's going to be on her terms. And not that he would have it any other way, but no, sorry. She would. She was going to, and he's like, no. He wants to make sure that she realizes what's right in front of her.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I don't want us to just sleep together because you, like, want to sleep together. Like, I want us, like, there's something here.
Yeah.
That's deeper than that. And I want to explore it. And just his reaction when he finds out that she's, like, basically stabbed and in a coma. Osric! Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. I was nervous. I'm like, but don't carry her. Like, have somebody take her, please.
I know. But it was like, I know. I just had to kind of like look past that.
I don't want to look. It's like when somebody's backing up into a tight parallel parking spot. It's not the same. But I'm like, just do it. Don't let me look. I don't want to see. You're gonna hurt her. Yeah. I mean, he's pretty strong. So hey. Light as a board, stiff as a feather. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
Obviously, and Slade, I'm loving. I had that little issue with him, but I also understand because he knew they were going to do that no matter what, I'm sure. And it's just continuing the cycle, so.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What's your favorite characters this time?
I mean, I love so many. It's really hard to pick. But if I had to choose one, honestly, from this book, it would be Slade. I feel like just the wisdom... While all like, I can't even say this right. It's like, how do you have that much wisdom and strength, but somehow contain it and wield it approprially? Do you know what I mean? It's like the restraint that must take, the control that must take. I really respect his character, and I think that he's really interesting, and especially given his history and his past.
Yeah.
So
it's just like you said but the juxtaposition between the choices between Slade and Midas. Both had traumatizing fathers, abusive fathers, terrible situations, and using your trauma to be an inexcusable, awful person. And then with Slade, using it to say, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to continue the cycle, and breaking that.
Yeah. 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 What about your least favorite character of this book?
Okay, special, because obviously the villains are the villains, so they all suck. I hate them. So a special place in hell for the townspeople continuing to spread the gossip.
The townspeople, yeah.
The townspeople and being misogynistic, and we're seeing it even in Fourth Kingdom. Yeah. Which I was like, I was hoping it was like a Valaris situation, but it wasn't.
No. Where everything's just like hunky-dory. Yeah.
Like, they all suck too. Great.
I think that it makes it more realistic though. Because it's like, just because, I mean, honestly, in Fourth Kingdom, it seems like most of, Slade's townspeople / subjects or whatever you want to call them actually have a fair amount of respect for him and his, what is it called? His people. What are they called again? His wrath.
His wrath. Yeah.
Yeah. So they might even, be more wary because of that. Do you know what I mean? They're just worried at the end of the day that she's going to come in and she's going to, you know, do something bad to their king, who they actually do really like. So for the most part. So I feel like that is realistic, but it's also not right. So I agree with you. It's both.
I mean, how much do you really respect your king if you think he can be so easily swayed by a good lay? You know? Like, give me a break.
Well, they think she has magic to steal magic, though.
Yeah, fair. That did suck that the rot pulled out too. And it's like, wasn't even her fault.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
I put Kyla because WTF is what I put. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I really want to give Kyla the benefit of the doubt, because it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, I want to give Melina the benefit of the doubt. I want to give Kyla the benefit of the doubt. Let's work together to make this world a better place for us all. And it's like, you're playing into the hands of this system that is screwing so many people over. It's like, it's just, it pisses me off and bums me out, you know?
Like, I understand she's also fighting the patriarchy.
Yeah.
She talks about that as well. And feeling like she can only do so much, so she's trying to manipulate the situation. I mean, we all know she still won't have the power that she wants, even if she got rid of Oren, you know? So it's like, hey, take that little shield boy, hop on your little whatever mobile, get to Oren, shield yourself in case you're worried about your protection. Give this girl a chance to tell her side of the story, because it's so outlandish that Midas stole her power. Like, hello, go get the stupid guy that she used to work for at the docks and have him tell you that she's always been gold. Who's most likely to be able to be in control of gold? This little girl who's always been gold, or this idiot guy who showed up out of nowhere with the golden girl? Nobody's questioning why he always kept the golden girl with him.
Yeah. Literally.
You know, nobody's ever really seen his power.
He could have anyone he wants, but it's just, it doesn't make any sense.
It goes back to not believing the victims.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or just
taking the man's word for it, even when they're dead, at the hand of what the abuser did.
And
the abused did.
And when the evidence shows that they suck, his whole kingdom is living in poverty, even though he supposedly can turn anything to gold. Okay?
Yeah.
Literally, he has unending ability to create wealth, and he is letting his entire kingdom basically live in squalor, okay? And we're still gonna believe him, even as you say, once he's dead.
Yeah, you don't need to lick his boots anymore. Like, you're not getting anything else from him. Like, let's figure this out now. Wouldn't it behoove you to believe her? Because maybe she'll make some things gold for you if you don't want to get your supply gone.
Literally.
Hey, pretend. What if you didn't believe her and you're just like, let me use this to my advantage?
Yeah.
Just try that.
Yeah. I know. And I think that's why Kyla's position during this whole thing really bothered me, because I really wanted her to be more like, I can't remember the queen's name, but like, you know, the queen that is in Spark of the Everflame, who ends up being secretly cool. I wanted Kyla to be like that, because I was like, I get that you have to have that outward persona, because literally, let's just say it how it is. They're living in a man's world. They have to fight for any scrap of power that they're able to get. And then maintaining it is 10,000 times harder for them. Right? Yeah. So it's like, I understand that, but then at the same time, it's like, we can't evolve this system into something better if we continue to play within the rules that they created to keep us subjugated. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's like the bottom line. Yeah, so, totally. You know, Kyla has the power. Maybe be like, I don't know, maybe Aaron does have some cool power. Maybe we should like band together and see what we can see. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So that's why she just really, at this point, she's killing me. She's killing me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like the women who are trying to take feminism down, you know, still the heads of the patriarchy. Because we have women in power that do, you know?
No one likes a Serena, okay? Yeah. And all that happens is your finger gets chopped off and you go crazy, okay? It's like, literally, guys. Literally. Yeah. All right. So, to rein it back in here for a second, this makes us very passionate, obviously.
Hey, books aren't political. Stop it.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
We're not for you. Sorry.
Yeah, get out of here. So Goodreads. All right, I did want to bring up the average Goodreads here so that we can see how it's doing. Because if it's popular, do you think that it should be popular? I feel like at this point, if you're still sticking with the series, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Glow, the Plated Prisoner 4, as of this morning, it actually has a lot. It has 192,675 ratings, and it gets a 4.12. So I feel like it deserves higher than a 4.12. Yeah. Obviously, we both
went
gave
down
it a 5.
A little bit from the last one.
Yeah. But it's still good. I could see how, the action isn't as, like, crazy as the ending of the last book until the end of this book. But, like, we need more to the journey than just, like, stuff happening the whole time. Yeah. Like, we need to do the inner work, too. So, I get it. So, let's see here. Do you have some quotes that stood out to you?
Oh, yeah. We'll have to ping pong for a little bit. We can't keep them too long.
Yeah. The series, though, guys, it's like, how many quotes can I highlight? The whole thing. Okay, great.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do the one that, guys, find me in another life. Find me in them all. Tears streaming down my face.
Yeah. Yep. I know. I struggled with that ending. It was really, really sad. It made me sad. Okay. So let's see. I have so many. I'm like, which ones? As a woman in power, you can never let people see your true emotional reactions because they would only use them against you.
Yes. One person's pain doesn't negate another's. Our heartaches are not a competition, but the bridge to empathy, so that we can look at one another and know that on some level we understand.
Yep. I wrote that one down too. Men always have their fixations, especially when it comes to women. Their enthusiasm for their obsession always straddles the line between infatuation and hate. One simple move and the master will turn on their pretty pet.
I feel like this comes up a lot in my life. We talk about it. I talk about it with other people in my family. The body keeps the score, okay? That's the thing with trauma to the body. It shows up instantly in breaks and bruises and burns and blood, but the trauma on the inside, that's harder to see. It creeps up around your mind, poisons you with disquiet. It can hit you out of nowhere, debilitating and ruinous. There are no marks visible for those. None save the shadows in your eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
To go off that, I've always been more passive in life. I think passivity is often mistaken for weakness. Really, it's just a different way to cope, to survive. The safest way I learned to react to situations was to endure, to let things blow over, to please, to peacekeep, to constantly regulate my own reactions and thoughts and emotions so that the tyrant could be appeased into a lesser form of abuse. So from an early age, I learned that my anger wasn't safe. Then I learned that it was irrational. Then it was just plain wrong. I was always in the wrong.
The world can judge us all it wants. Doesn't mean we have to give a shit. Words I live by.
Yeah. Oh, this one from Lou.
Yes.
I need you all to tuck your dicks in for a second and try to think rationally like a woman.
Yeah. More words that we need to live by. Come on, guys. Here.
You got one more you want to do? I mean, I have 1,000.
I have a billion.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Well, we've been posting these on our Instagram too, so be sure to check us out there if you want to see some more quotes on our posts during this series, because there's a lot of good ones. Do you have any more that you need to finish with?
Yeah. This one we should finish with. I want you to understand something, Goldfinch. I am not good. I will rot every person in my way. Will bring a blight to every corner of the world if I have to. I shake my head. No, you wouldn't. You're good. No, Goldfinch, he interrupts. I'm good to you, but I am every bit the villain that I warned you I was. His previous words ring in my ears. I'll be the villain for you, not to you. Yet, I went to Slade with my eyes wide open. I told him I wanted everything, and when you ask for everything from a person, you don't get to pick and choose. You take them as they are, even King Rot. If you're a villain, then I'll be a villain with you. It's great. It's so good. So good. I know. Yeah. Obsessed. All right. So we've already talked a bit about how the spice is just really important for moving the plot forward. I mean, we have the spicy scene when she wakes up from her coma and she, you know, essentially begs him to punish her because she feels so guilty for what she's done. And he refuses, not willing to use, you know, sex to essentially get back at her for the things that she's done. Then we have the scene in the carriage where, you know, we shared that quote about how he'll support her in her endeavors. I feel like, you know, these were really, really pivotal to move the story along and to show how their relationship has evolved. It was like, in my opinion, there's no better, I don't know that I've read better spice in any series ever. So, I mean, I love it. I think that it's written well. The characters are great. Their chemistry is awesome. And it's so meaningful. So that's where I stand on the spice in these books.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way. You've been telling me for years that the dirty talk, top tier. I get it now. I get it. Very good. Very
Literally.
good.
Like, okay, here, if there's any guys
It's
listening
like,
to this.
oh my.
Yeah, like literally, I'm like sitting on the couch squealing, and my husband's like, what now? I'm like, okay. But like, if there's any guys literally listening to this, and we know we have some, they'll listen, all right? This series, this is the manual, this is the guidebook. Like, I know people say that a lot about, you know, different romance, dark romance, romantasy, whatever. But no, for real. Like, take the books, read them, do the highlights, do the tabs, then come back. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, you will thank yourself, I promise you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously we're going to read the next one. We can't even wait. We're freaking out, like waiting to start as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yep.
So, hey, there's that.
If I didn't have to read book club, I went right for it.
For real.
No stopping me. I'd be done by now. That was 4 days ago.
Dude, seriously. I know,
I'm itching.
Like, tonight, it's like literally that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yep.
I mean, either that or Wuthering Heights. I don't know, but probably. That's so hard. It's too hard. Okay, I'm freaking out.
I know.
Too much good stuff. So let's just talk about the audiobook for a second. I think that we both, you know, kind of bounce back and forth between the audio and the Kindle. Do you want to share any reviews? I mean, I think that you guys probably know how we feel about the audiobook at this point. Give me more Osric. I will say that because I love Osric's voice. He's great. So
yeah, I was listening to it and I was like, dude, we haven't heard anything from Osric and Rissa in a while. And then boom, next chapter it was them. It's like, okay, perfect. Good. Okay, so fantastic audiobook. Right now it's come to the point. Because I listened to, I think, most of the last one. And then this one, I ended up listening to all of it. It's like, now how do I stop listening once I started, you know? Because I also like to like really physically absorb the information.
Yeah.
But I'm doing just fine with the audio too. Yeah, I know. So it's like, oh, it's so easy because then I can get stuff done at the same time while, you know.
Well, and it's just such a treat.
It's such a treat. It's like, how do you not? I mean, immersive reading for sure. Okay, so 4.7 out of 3,900 reviews on Audible.
All right.
So here's a 5-star. Love this book series, and the narrators are good. Male, like you could do better than that, but okay. Good. Male narrator has done well with the Slade voice.
Yes.
Drool. That's what it says.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but I finally found a more negative. I do air quotes, but it is negative. A more negative.
Okay, Joey.
Critique of the narration. But she still gave it 4 stars, but I honestly think reading this, it was more for the story that she gave it 4 stars. So she says, she's an odd woman out here. I really like the story, but the narration is torture for me. She hates Aaron's voice and feels like she is making her sound more and more like the other female characters with the slow pacing and her voice not matching what is happening. Well, I have a solution for you. Put it on 1.7 speed. I did move it to, I was curious, and I'm like, what does this sound like on 1 speed? Because I almost always listen to 1.75.
Like someone's reading to you in slow motion is what it sounds like.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Literally, that's, guys, if an audiobook isn't for you, is it that? Is it because they talk so
What?
slow. And it's intentional. They want to, because some readers enjoy it that way. I'm not making fun of you if you want to enjoy it that way.
No, my husband does that. But when we try to listen to an audiobook together, I feel like I'm literally losing my mind. It's so slow. I can't.
Listen,
Yeah.
I think maybe it's that Pavlov, did I get it right? Effect. It's like growing up, getting stories read to you. It's just like, and I'm asleep. But like,
Yeah, maybe.
good luck.
Maybe. Well,
having to sit still and like even doing stuff. I was driving trying to listen to that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fall asleep at the wheel. This is not okay. But the pacing does change. It's because we're talking so fast right now. This is like normal speaking to me is a 1.75 for Audible.
Well,
you know?
I figured that out when I first started listening to dark romance because I was like, there's nothing weirder than listening to a guy talk dirty to you and it's like in slow-mo. I'm like, this is weird. And so I sped it up and I was like, oh, this is better because it's more of a conversational speed.
Yes, exactly. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So just, try playing around with the speed and see if that helps you in one way or in one direction or the other. You might just process an information differently. So.
Yeah, I can pay way more attention, which is weird when it's faster.
Me too.
I can't because I'm going to zone out if it's at one speed. I am.
Same.
So,
Same.
Hey, you know? Anyways, so surprising. She didn't love it. She even said Slade and Rip is mispronouncing words all the time. I didn't catch that, but listen, I ain't gonna catch it if it is because I don't pronounce words well.
I was gonna say
we forgot to ask him that. That was the other question I want to ask him.
What?
Pronunciation. Like how does he get notes from the author on the names, the kingdoms?
Maybe.
Like generally speaking, how do you know how to pronounce everything right? Or do you not and hope for the best?
So if you're reading the news, okay, if you're reading the news, you do. So like if you were like actually like reading the teleprompter, they would spell names phonetically. So
but he's not doing that.
No, I know. But I wonder if like she gives him like a phonetic spelling like list of all of the special words. Because that's the only way that you would know. That's the only way.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's like, I'm just going to do Slade's voice and everyone's eyes will glaze over and no one will notice because we won't.
Except this lady.
Except this lady.
In particular. Yeah. But let's leave on a good note, okay? 5 stars, emotional healing and voice acting, sorcery. Narrators carry every scream, scare, and whispered promise like it's the gospel. Absolutely soul piercing performance, start to finish. Yeah. I can get behind that one.
Me too. I agree. Yeah. I agree. So we already talked about it being an excellent middle book. Do you have any more things to say about that?
Nope. It's go time.
It's go time.
Let's
go time for the epic
reading.
1,300 page conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to wait years in between though. So that's great.
Good news.
So I have a couple Easter eggs to share. Do you have any unanswered questions or bonus questions or things you wanted to bring up before we get into the couple Easter eggs I have for you guys?
Just simply, what now? What is gonna happen now? That's my unanswered question.
And that's great. That's a great place to be. There aren't unanswered questions that are frustrating or plot holes that were like, why is this not being explained properly? Everything is unfolding at a pace that that seems very intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I want to know I hope her, now you got me rooting for the ribbons over here. I want her ribbons to come back. I'm hoping maybe she lands in this magical world of fae and like gets all her fae-ness and ribbons from her back. Boom. Okay. Obviously I don't have any Easter eggs because I haven't read past here. So hit us with it.
Here I go. There's 3. All I'm going to do is read you guys some quotes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not going to tell you anything.
Okay.
You get to know nothing. Take this from what
you will.
Good.
That's a good way to do it because you listen, it's a quote that was in this book. So it's not a spoiler, but it's something to think about and hatch on. Sit on your egg and hatch it. Okay, let's go. Spoiler eggs. Easter eggs.
The spoilery eggs.
That sounds non-spoilery, not spoiled eggs.
Not spoiled
Not
eggs.
spoiled Easter eggs. Let's go.
Okay. First one. The satiny gold ribbons that used to sprout along her spine like feathers of a wing.
Chills down my body. Okay, that gives me hope.
Okay.
I think I remember reading that too, and being like,
Interesting. Interesting.
Okay.
Oh, Goldfinch, I'd follow you to the end of the world and tip right off the edge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's in my quote section too, so good. We got it in.
Okay. And this one. You break down, walls crumbling until you're free falling. The feelings that you try to run from suddenly rush up around you in an unstoppable force. The gravity of your thoughts now nothing but a punishing plunge. When you slam into the bottom, that landing jolts you all the way to your very soul. You hit hard and it cracks the very foundation of the world. The ground fragments beneath you, lines stretching far and wide, and then you're left a pile of rubble. But I realize something as I lie here, surrounded by the destruction of my plummet. These cracks that have spread out from my caustic landing, they're not evidence of my ruination, they're paths. Each jagged line leads from me and then diverts away, showing me all the different ways I could go from here. Ooh. Lots of imagery there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Woo! Mm-hmm. Boy, howdy. I'll tell you what.
Boy, howdy. I love reading these a second time. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Okay. All right. Anything else on Glow? Gosh, I was so mad at you for making me wait. Reading that.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologized.
I get it. It's better this way.
It is.
I didn't, but I was like, watch it. I'm going to finish book club in one day. It took me 2. That's still pretty good. And then I'm like, I got to read Wuthering Heights. I got to wait. I got to get it off my chest first.
Yeah.
Because it's a good thing for us to go through it line by line like this. And then start fresh tomorrow or tonight with Gold.
I agree.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, should we wrap this up with a smash or pass real quick? An unhinged smash or pass?
Let's go.
Okay. Mine was inspired by a book club book this month from The Poisoner.
Okay.
Obviously you guys should go check out our live if you want to know more about The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. But my unhinged smash or pass is this. You have to pick an MMC, not a specific one, but just one of them has a tail and one of them makes a clicking noise.
Oh, screw you. No, I'm just kidding.
If you guys have read The Poisoner, you know. If you've listened to the audiobook, you know even more. He makes a clicking noise when he's hunting or in the mood, we'll say. That's very, very similar to, like, if you've watched Predator, like Alien versus Predator, it's very similar to the noise that Predator makes. So,
or like Allie said, the aliens and signs.
See, I haven't seen that since it came out, and I will not be seeing it anytime soon, so no.
Well, that's the sound that they make, so just in case you want to know.
No. So you have to pick one.
I won't do it.
You have to. Sorry. This is how this works.
Who could I deal with a skin tail and a clicking sound?
One or the other. You don't have to have both.
Just one okay. I was thinking both.
No,
you have. Geez,
no. You have to pick one. So like super like MMC that you love, but
what do I hate more?
But
the clicking sound or the tail?
Exactly. You have to pick one. Which one are you willing to tolerate?
Well, who's my favorite? Now I don't remember who my favorite. I can't do it to them, so I don't want to picture it. Who's my favorite MMCs? Okay, so we got Resand. We got, honestly, hey, Slade's up there now. So we're gonna go King Ravager right now. Not for this question, but
Slade doesn't end up on your book boyfriend list. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah,
like literally.
Who else we got? We got Val. Okay, he's a vampire too, so that checks out. Henry, and then we have another recent one, I feel. Rowan's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, what would be in there? I'm trying to, like, think of personalities and how they could, like, play it off.
I think that you're overthinking it.
Listen, that's what I do here. Okay? I'm missing somebody and that's bothering me. Oh, who's the Anathema guy? He's great.
Zavander.
Okay, Zavander. I'm going to go with Zavander and the clicking sound because...
It fits. It kind of fits.
It kind of fits, exactly. See, that's why I'm overthinking it because I'm like, what won't throw me off? Because he's like a scorpion dude.
Yeah.
But not. The tails, like, I don't like the clicking sound either, but like you said, it fits in some weird way. And his would be really deep and gravelly, so I think that's what I'm cheating with too.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I would go also with the creepy, I just call it the creepy clicking noise. Because yeah, I feel like if it was like a deeper gravelly or cadence, then I would appreciate it more. And there's also something about like if someone like Zavander was like hunting you.
Yeah.
I'm like creating this whole scenario in my mind.
Well, you have to justify it.
It's like he's got demon tendencies. He's hunting you, maybe in the woods in some kind of like dark Grimm's fairy tale situation. And you hear that noise coming from like in the dark somewhere, but you know that it's Evander. All right.
Yeah.
We'll allow it.
Like, all right. Because otherwise, I think if anybody else had it, I would get the ick.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's like, why are you doing that? Stop. Yeah. Stop it.
Totally.
It's like, oh, you can't help it. So,
yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're definitely cheating by changing the candor of it. But
that's okay.
It's our rules. We do what we want. Okay.
Yeah. We do what we have to do.
Here's a really, we do what we have to do. Here's a very unhinged smasher pass for you because I've been trying to think of gold themed smasher passes.
Okay.
So we already did Dr. Evil. How about Austin Powers Gold Member?
I mean, he's hilarious, but still a pass.
Yeah, still pass. But somebody out there
always will be a smash.
And now I really do want to watch that when you visit one of the Austin Powers since it's been a billion years.
It's been a billion years, and the way I was obsessed with those movies.
You were obsessed.
I literally thought they were, I mean, honestly, as a child, I had, and like a young adult, I'd say, 12, 13, I had good comedic taste. Like, I'll just put it that way. Like, I did. I look back at the things that I thought were funny when I was, like, 13, and I'm like, dude, that's the stuff I still think is really funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, ahead of my time. You too, though. Yeah.
Oh, well, me too. 100%. Yeah. Dude, we still quote, if anybody, this is like deep. If anybody ever watched The Blair Thumb, listen, me and my family still quote that to this day. I still have
that DVD.
Is it mine?
You bought it for me as a gift, and I have it still.
Did you ever watch it?
I haven't watched it recently, but I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe I should do like an After Dark and watch it.
Bring it down.
I will.
Yeah. Because I think my parents lost theirs, and like that's like stuff you can't even find on the internet anymore. It's pre-YouTube. Like this is what we
what
love.
A time to be alive.
Good. Somebody out there is like, oh my gosh, the Blair Thumb. All the Thumb movies, but like the Blair Thumb was the best.
It was
so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So bad. Okay, so there we go, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And today, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you like to listen to your podcast, including YouTube if you haven't yet. Because come on, obviously this is a good time. Come hang out. Literally. Also, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Besties in the Books podcast everywhere. And you guys, we'll see ya next Tuesday. Bye.